Right, this is Calibos, and we're playing Enigmatica 2. So, the end of the last episode was cut a bit short because it crashed, but appears to be no ill effects. I see nothing seriously wrong. I've been dinking around with stuff. You notice I had some astral sorcery marble, and I got that from the quarry. And we bid the rain to stop and the sun to shine. So, one of these areas over here, did it already hit? Maybe it was here, has an astral sorcery thing. Pretty cool looking. So I suspect what's going to happen is it's just going to pick all this up. But we're going to take these now. And we got prismarine crystals. So clearly they do not, they need silk touch. So, okay, that plan didn't work the way that I was hoping it would. I guess we'll do a different thing. So, let's make some sea lanterns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sea lanterns, go. I know, this is crazy. So I told it how to make these. Basically, it will crush them. And we have sea lanterns, which I believe was the quest. Blood magic. So, I'm not sure why it has the picture of glowstone and then asks for sea lanterns. Typically, in my mind, it would actually be needing glowstone. But, you know, whatever. So we're carrying 15 runes. I have enough to make a few more over here. So, again, we can't type anything because why would we want to be able to type? So let's grab our orb back. Orb. So I'm okay with just leaving the apprentice in there for now. It doesn't matter to us. Divination. What do we add as far as? So 10,000 LP must be our current cap. But that gives us this one. We can do this. Wow, I am unable to fly. So let's pull out some building material. What are they called? Devnol. There's a Devnol. So level 3 is basically the same. So we go down 1 and out 1. So it should be like right here. And then we go ahead and take the blank runes, and we go like so. Now this isn't exactly right, and I will fix it in just a second. Oops. That's definitely not right. Definitely not right. Oh, we love flight. So this is not exactly correct. So you'll notice that it asks for 20. We made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 14 and 10, or 24. So there are extra ones. Specifically, there are 4 extra ones, and these are the ones that are extra. Oh my god, I have made an error. So, this is a mistake I make a lot. I I am going to show you. So I put the blood altars in the wrong spot. So remember we were saying that the largest blood altar is 23 by 23 by 9, right? So the highest point for the blood altar is 9. So randomly I have put that down at 9, but that's not actually where it is. So I would have to picture it. So outer ring, I think it goes out one. My gosh, I feel like an idiot. Some days I wish I were smarter. So I think it's like that. And then like that, maybe? And then that. So I'm going to pull up a brief picture and then fix this. So all right. So I wonder if I can show you what I am looking at. You know, without like nope, I am apparently not talented enough. So if I can, I'll figure out how to overlay it onto the thing, but I am not talentful enough to do that. But it does tell me what I need to know as far as to okay, I think I am miscounting. So, but I suspect that, you know, the height difference is going to be 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this, one of these two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I suspect that this is actually the height that the altar needs to be at. Like I said, I make this mistake a lot, so we're just gonna, got nothing in there, no blood in it, so it costs us nothing to fix it. And I'll have to fix it for the other ones too. So we'll pull this off here so it doesn't break the thing. Then we're just going to lower it because we can. And one of the reasons that having it at the right level is important to me is I'm not exactly excited. Whoops, I need that back, thanks. I'm not exactly excited about having to go up too many stairs to do this. Alright, so we'll pop this down, pull that out, pull that out. So the filters are kind of busted now. So this one is give me the thing. So this one actually goes here, and this one goes there. I think that's the correct one. So it whitelists the input. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to go down one again and out. Is it there? So I think it's here. Okay, hopefully I have got the height right now. what I'm probably going to do is off camera, I will build a full mock-up of the blood altar in, you know, successive layers of cobblestone or something exciting, I don't know. Okay, so we have this, and our thing should say tier 2. I still am confused by the fact that this is supposed to be that they have a sea lantern in there. I mean, that just, why are we gliding? Do I have an elytra. We're going to get rid of that. That explains the difficulty I've been having. Okay, go away. Thanks. Purple slime. We totally don't need that. Alright, so we have this, and then it goes up. And I believe it goes up to just below, or just above the level of the altar. Is it 4 of them? So it's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So, like I said, to my mind, this should be glowstone. This shouldn't be. So we're going to try it with glowstone because I suppose they could have changed the recipe. But 2, 3, 4. Now we do this and we give it a second. Yeah. So despite the quest book, go for glowstone. I'm not sure why it asks for a different thing. But yeah. So let's go ahead and make a reinforced slate. We're also going to look for... we don't need capacity because I'm not really worried about how fast we can pump blood into the altar. So we're going to start looking at speed runes. Oops. Efficiency runes, rune of sacrifice, rune of self-sacrifice. So we want to start getting some runes of sacrifice going. And some displacement runes. Displacement runes are going to be key for this setup. So what the displacement runes do is they increase the amount that can be transferred. Augmented capacity runes basically increase storage. So like I said, I'm not super worried about storage because the amount of blood that we can produce. Rune of the Orb, what those do is if you have them in a blood altar, it increases the amount that your blood network can hold. Acceleration rune, I believe that so I don't remember which one is which. One of the speed rune or the acceleration rune increases the amount of times that a transfer happens, and the other one increases the speed at which stuff crafts. So I'll have to look those up to make sure, because we want to make sure that we're using those correctly. Charging rune. I'm not exactly sure what a charging rune is. So the ritual stones, basically different rituals will have different required setups of stones. And they will do important things. So now that we, like just arrangement of ritual stones. You don't have to worry about arranging ritual stones yourself, as far as I recall. They will assemble themselves with a wand if you have the right things. So I do not recall if... Okay, so it does need a block here, but it doesn't matter which block. Maybe we'll come up with something suitably portentous. pretentious? Probably both. So we're just gonna fill this up while we're here. And that is why we're not worried about like capacity runes. So it's gonna fill the reservoir. And I think the reservoir holds about 200, but we'll see. We'll eat some pistachios. Alright, we have just gained another heart. Sweet. All that vein mining has not been in vain. So let's go ahead and see what our quest book requires as far as requires 1 reinforced slate. Probably is going to require 1 imbued slate. So let's make a magician's blood orb as well while we're at it. So I believe this one takes 25 LP. Magician's blood orb. So yeah, so block of gold, 25,000 LP. That's actually going to be pretty simple for us. So one of the things that I thought about doing, there's a mod pack. It's super old. It's very glitchy and laggy and unfortunate, but I love it, and I'm thinking of playing it in replacement for Beyond the Skies. I'd have to look to see if I can find a copy of it. It might not be around anymore. But it involves blood magic pretty heavily. So let's go ahead and put the block of gold in. Now, because it has a larger amount, it's going to go through stuff quite a bit faster. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. I'm not super worried about it with regeneration and the shields and the fact that we could just make golden apples whenever we want. So let's get some pistachios in us. So at this point, I suspect that it's taken about 1,200, maybe a bit more. Let's all right. So now we have a magician's blood orb. Let's cue this thing to us, and let's see how much power we can stuff into it. So we'll stand next to the infuser. One of the things that we need to do is we need to upgrade the shield regen on the armor. And I'll probably spend a little bit of time doing that. And because we've upgraded this, let's go ahead and toss these in here. I'll probably make a second one of these Magician's Blood Orbs off camera. Well, I'll actually wait until we need it, because maybe we'll be able to skip straight up to 4th level. And maybe we won't have to worry about it. There's going to be some... there is going to be some alchemy stuff that we're going to have to do, because we need to look into making the diviner and some of the ritual stones. So while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and check to see what we need for the diviner. So you'll see that this is the standard one, then there's a dusk one, and then there's a dawn one. So this is the standard one, and it requires elemental inscription tools, one of each of the base 4 elements, And then we want to, if we make the dusk one, it'll require 2 dusk ones and the regular one. And if we make the dawn one, require dawn. Come on. Can we not make the dawn one? Interesting. So in order to make this one, we're going to need a demonic slate, which is going to take a tier 4 altar. In order to make this, you know, we're going to need this tier 3 altar that we have, and we're going to have to process one thing for each of the base 4 elements. So magma cream, which we can do, obsidian, which we can do, lapis block, which we can do, and gas tiers, which we can do. So honestly, there's no real reason not to do it now, just to get it over with. It's not going to take a long time, and we can just take care of that. So there it is. So we need a gas tier. Oops, that is not a gas tier. Gas tier, which we have 1 or 2 gas tiers. Let's toss the sea lanterns in there and toss that in there. We're going to need lapis block, which we have a lapis block. We're going to need a piece of obsidian. All right. And I cannot remember what the last thing is for the life of me, so diviner. Lapis, obsidian, magma cream, that's what it was. So let us make for ourselves a magma cream. We probably don't have any. Okay, maybe we do have some. So these basically take 1,000 each. It's not challenging. And as I recall, in the previous version of Blood Magic, you don't have to keep making them. Once you have the inscription tools, you can be done. So it does have a damage value on it, that's true. And you can make the stones yourself without making the diviner, in which case you have to place everything. But once you have a diviner, you can just right-click on the master stone with the ritual that you have selected, and it will build everything for you, provided that you have the correct stones, much like the environmental tech. Hey, there we go. Thank you for your soul. Much like the environmental tech thing. Diviner. All right, so that we want fire and water opposite. Fire, water, earth, and air. That gives us a diviner. Hi. Thank you for your soul. So we now have the ritual diviner. So the ritual diviner is pretty cool. We can... so what I'm doing is I'm shift right clicking to go through the various rituals. You'll see them listed on the bottom of the screen just above the bar if you didn't notice them. Where is it? Green Groves, Interdiction, High Jump, Filler, Suppression, Zephyr, Containment, Nether. Okay, so I'm wondering if we need to... have the higher level altar to do it. It is entirely possible, and I vaguely recall something along those lines. So we're just going to toss that in there for now. Toss that in there. We're going to toss these in here because we can pull them out later if we need them. pineapple ham. So all of this food. Oh yeah, tape measure. I was using the tape measure to make sure that my stuff was spaced correctly, and then I failed to measure correctly anyway. So, you know, stuff and things. So for this one, we're definitely going to have to make demonic slates, which is the tier 4 altar. So the quest book has definitely kind of fallen through. It is correct that we require bound blades. So we're going to have to make a ritual of binding to make a bound blade. And then we're going to need weak blood shards because we need to make, with the weak blood shards, we need to make large bloodstone tiles. And that's, again, how we make the Master Blood Orb. So once we have one of those, oh, that's cool, Ritual Dismantler. We can use it to make the Better Tatar gems. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Once we get one, it becomes easier to make more and to have more. So we'll do that. And once we get up to 4, I believe that's the point where we can set up the rituals, and we can have these guys feed our altar for us. And once they're feeding one altar, I can automate the slates a little bit better, and they will rapidly build all of the rest of the altars for us. So yeah. Anyway, we all heard the ding. It was a ding, and we're done. So if you like the episode, leave a like. If you don't. Questions, comments, concerns can all go below. If you saw anything that I missed or I should be doing, please, by all means, tell me. I could clearly use all the help I can get. I don't even know how tall my blood altar is. So, yeah. Have a good night.